welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, as you can see by what's on screen and hopefully also by the title of this video, I'm going to be doing a tier list. Now, I haven't done a tier list on this channel before, but I fucking love, like this is something you guys need to know about me. I fucking love making tier lists. Sometimes I'll make a tier list when I come home from school, like not from school, I'm not in school anymore, but when I come home from like work or something, I'll sit down, I'll make a tier list, just like a therapeutic thing that I'll do. I also watch a bunch of them on YouTube. I'll watch like ones ranking facial hairstyles or US presidents or fucking cars. I'll watch a tier list about anything. So I hope you guys like tier lists as much as me, and if you do, you're gonna fucking love this video. And as you can see, we're doing it on UCL winning teams from 08 all the way to 2023. We got every single team right here, from obviously United all the way to Man City, present day. So that's gonna be really fun. They're all in chronological order, so it should be easy for you guys to follow along. The tiers on the side, S, A, B, and C. So, you know, pretty self-explanatory. S is the best, C is the worst. A and B are like mid-good, mid-bad, so you guys get it. And then let's go through the criteria, okay? So criteria for this is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to look at how you performed in every single competition you played in, okay? So we're going to, not just Champions League, every single competition. We're also going to look at your squad quality. So just how good your squad was, like the players on that team, and how are they remembered all the time, okay? So that's just going to be my criteria. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And yeah, I'm just blabbing too much right now, so let's just get into the actual tier list. All right, so starting off, like I mentioned, with 07-08 Manchester United, this team is going to go into A tier. To me, it's the perfect A tier team when we look at all the criteria. Squad quality, it's elite, but not quite, like it's great, but not elite. In my opinion, that's what I should have said. Let's go through some of the players. Okay, so Ronaldo, arguably in his prime. I mean, 08, he won his first Ballon d'Or, but some people might argue, and I would argue, that his prime came later in the Real Madrid days. Obviously, Wayne Rooney, who to me, this was actually Wayne Rooney's prime, in my opinion. This specific season, maybe 2010, but this season he was amazing. You had Carlitos Tevez, who was great. You had Nani, you had Vidic, Ferdinand, Carrick, Scholes, Van der Sar, Patrice Evra as well. I don't know if I mentioned him already. I may have actually. But anyway, the squad quality, again, like I said, great, but not quite elite, at least in my opinion. Like, what puts this team in A tier to me, though, is that they obviously won their two biggest competitions. They won the Premier League, they beat Chelsea by 2 points in that Premier League season, and they won the Champions League, also beating Chelsea in the final, Moscow, a very remembered final. But to me, losing in the FA Cup to Portsmouth in the third round, which is, Portsmouth that year was a very good team, but losing to them, I mean, if they would have made the final, maybe I put them in A tier because they made it very far in the domestic cup, and they also lost in the Carabao Cup in the 6th round. So to me, that dings them a little bit. A tier is still amazing. I mean, there's going to be very few S tier teams here, but I mean, A tier to me is it's like very perfect for this United team. So, you know, let's just move on to the next team. I ended that United part weird. I don't know why I said let's just move on to the next team, but I think that's pretty perfect for United. Anyway, moving on to 08-09 Barcelona, obviously S tier to me. I mean, it's the greatest club team of all time. I think there's no debate about that. It's pretty universally regarded as the greatest club team of all time, the most dominant team ever. They obviously, everything they excel at. They excel at every single criteria I set forth. They won every single competition. They participated in the first team ever to win a sextuple. Squad quality, Messi, of course, Eto'o, Henry, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Piqué, Puyol, Silvinho, Yaya Toure was on that team as well, Victor Valdez. I mean, this team was fucking stacked. Won La Liga, of course, like I said, won every competition. I don't have to spend too much time on Barcelona 08-09. You guys know how good it was. Let's move on to Inter now. Inter's going to fall in the S tier as well, the first and only Italian team to this day to win the treble. Squad quality, I think this is the weakest team in terms of squad quality that has ever won a treble, at least that I've seen. Obviously, I can't go back to the Celtic teams in 1967 or whatever the fuck it was. But this team, I mean, it had legendary players, but when you look at the other treble-winning teams here, I mean, they had players that are like they're more known by people, obviously, because not a lot of people know Pandev or Zanetti or Cambiaso or Milito or Schneider. Obviously, they know Samuel Eto'o or Chivu or Lucio, all these, Julio Cesar. So these players are all legendary because if you know the history of the game, you know who these guys are. But I think a casual, you know, like a viewer of football will look at this team and be like, this team won a treble, but this team did indeed win a treble. They dominated Bayern Munich in the final in Madrid. I mean, that team was just, that Louis van Gaal Bayern Munich team was very good. Frank Ribery didn't play in that final because he was suspended, but that team was still very good, and they dominated them completely. Diego Milito fucking was insane that game. They won the league, obviously, in the last day. They won the Coppa Italia on a winner by Diego Milito. This team, to me, of course, when you win a treble, you're a legendary team. One of the most, like, they destroyed Barcelona. Just like that first leg of the San Siro, one of the greatest Barca teams that I've ever seen. And Jose Mourinho went in there to the San Siro and the Camp Nou and just put on a clinic on how to beat that team. And, you know, people still remember that, like, they still see it as one of the greatest managerial achievements of all time, him beating that team with the squad that he had. I mean, it's insane. This team has to be in S tier. Moving on to 2010, 2011 Barcelona. This is where the bias allegations are going to come in, and I'm not going to accept it, guys, but this team will be in S tier. This team will be in S tier. Let me explain to you why. Let me explain to you why this team is ahead of Man United, and they both won the same amount of trophies. They both won doubles. So this team, They won the Champions League, dominated the Champions League. That final against United in Wembley is the biggest domination in the final that I can remember in my whole life, especially in a big competition. They obviously beat Real Madrid, their biggest rivals, dominated them in the semifinals, beat I think Shakhtar maybe in the quarters, but they beat Arsenal in the round of 16. I mean, this team was utterly dominant. In the La Liga season, they had I think 91 points, or definitely over 90 points, and they were amazing that season. I think they lost only a couple games, and in the Copa del Rey, they lost on a last-minute winner to Real Madrid in the Mestalla in Valencia. And as you can see, they lost in the final on a last-minute winner. And there was a very questionable offside goal there that was ruled off, but it was actually offside. But, you know, the margins are very thin. This team was very close to winning another treble. And then squad quality, I mean, it was basically a team from 08 or 09, except instead of Eto'o and Henry, it was Villa and Pedro, but still Messi, Villa, Pedro, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, of course. Mascherano was on this team, Puyol, Piqué, Dani Alves, Erika Vidal. So this team, I mean, I really don't have to say much. Everybody thinks I'm a biased Barca dick rider, and maybe I am. But you know what? There's no fucking chance I'm putting this team any lower than S tier. No fucking way, because this team was completely dominant. And you can argue it was the prime of the greatest player we've ever seen. So obviously, I mean, Messi obviously this year was amazing. So S tier to me is perfect for this team. Let's move on. Moving on to 2011-2012 Chelsea. This is going to be our first team that goes into B tier. I don't think it's C tier, anywhere near C tier actually, and I don't think it's A tier. I think B tier is perfect for this Chelsea team for a multitude of reasons. So let's go through them. So their competitions they participated in. So they finished 6th in the Premier League. They sacked their manager mid-season, which is a trend for Chelsea. You're going to see it later on. They also sacked their manager in 2021. They got rid of Andres Villas-Boas. They brought in Roberto Di Matteo. They won the FA Cup, so that's great. But 6th in the Premier League, it knocks you down. And then obviously in the Champions League, beat Barcelona in the semifinals. Had an amazing comeback against Napoli in the round of 16, a legendary comeback. And then obviously in the final, beat Bayern Munich. In Munich, in their stadium, in a fucking European Cup final, a Bayern team that made the final in 2010, that made the final in 2013, the year after, and made obviously that final, they made 3 out of 4 finals, and they just destroyed them, bro. I mean, it was like, not destroyed them, sorry, but they just like pulled off this miraculous comeback with Eto'o's goal, and then Schweinsteiger misses the penalty, and then Eto'o makes his penalty, and also in extra time, Robin missed his penalty, and Petr Cech was a man. Squad quality, not really great. It also knocks it down a little bit. The squad quality isn't really that great, but that also speaks to how great this team played on that day against Munich, where they won, because they were nowhere near as talented as that Munich team, the Bayern Munich team that they beat. But, I mean, Malouda, Drogba, Terry, Lampard, Juan Mata, Fernando Torres, Ashley Cole, Petr Cech, Ryan Bertrand was on the team as well. He started the final. So this team, squad quality is nowhere near all the teams in S tier. It's also not as good as the A tier United squad, like the squad that I put in A tier in 07-08. But I think B tier for this team is perfect. Honestly, I think it's perfect. I think it's not the greatest team. Like, no one ever looks at this Chelsea team and says this is the greatest team of all time. It's not even the greatest Chelsea team of all time. I actually think the team in 08-09 that lost to Barca in the semifinal, and 07-08 that made the semifinals and the final, or final and semifinal, those years were better. I think the teams with Mourinho in 04 and 05 were better. So I think this team is not even the best Chelsea team of all time. So I can't put it in S or A tier, but B tier, I think it suits it perfectly. 2012-2013 Bayern Munich, I mean, quite clearly an S tier team. I mean, there's really not much to say about this team. It's a treble-winning team. They didn't win a Sextuple. They only won 5 trophies, but they lost, I think, in the UEFA Super Cup, or maybe the German Super Cup. I don't know which one, but they lost in one of the Super Cups. Obviously, the squad quality is there. Bastian Schweinsteiger, Mario Mandzukic, Arjen Robben, Frank Ribery, who should have won the Ballon d'Or that year. I mean, robbery. Just a total fucking robbery by Ronaldo. I'm playing, by the way. That's just how Ronaldo fans sound. That was very unfunny. Just keep going. Anyway, Thomas Müller, Toni Kroos, Jerome Boateng, Dante, Philipp Lahm, obviously Manuel Neuer. I mean, I really don't have to say much about this team. Obviously, they won the Bundesliga. Obviously, they won the DFB Pokal. And they completely ran through the Champions League. I mean, they beat Barca 7-0. On aggregate in the semifinal, and then beat a very good Borussia Dortmund team in the final. So this team, I mean, there's not much to say. S tier team, of course. 2013-2014 Real Madrid is going to go into A tier, the La Decima team. This team was very good, won a double. They won the Copa del Rey, obviously the famous Gareth Bale skins Marc Bartra. That was that game. And they finished actually 3rd in La Liga, but they finished tied on points with 2nd Barcelona. And they only finished 3 points off the eventual winners, Atletico Madrid. So not a bad La Liga season from them, not even close actually. And then in the Champions League, they were very close to losing it to Atletico Madrid. But obviously, Sergio Ramos came in and saved the day. But I think squad quality really puts this team over the top, and also how good they were in that Champions League run. I mean, they destroyed Bayern Munich. Pep Guardiola led Bayern Munich in the semifinal, and then in the final, after they scored that goal, after Ramos scored that goal, they just fucking obliterated Atletico Madrid. But squad quality, let's go through some of the names. Ronaldo, arguably, I would argue his prime, that 13-14 season, he was fucking ridiculous. Scored 17 goals in the Champions League, which is still fucking insane. Gareth Bale, in my opinion, his prime, his best year at Real Madrid was that year here his first year there. You had Luka Modric, you had Sami Khedira, you had Xabi Alonso, you had Angel Di Maria, you had Karim Benzema, you had Pepe, you had Sergio Ramos, you had Contralso, you had Marcelo, you had Dani Carvajal still, you also had Casillas. So the squad quality is there. They were very good in the Champions League that year, so I think A tier is very perfect for them. Very similar to the United team, although I think that United team was a little bit not as good. I think the Madrid team is better, but I think they're in the same tier. 2014-2015 Barcelona, I mean, need I say more? When we win the Champions League, we do it in the fucking big way, baby. 2014-2015, of course, it's going to go into S tier. I mean, every criteria they excel at, and this team won 5 trophies. We lost the UEFA, the Spanish Super Cup, sorry. I'm pretty sure that's what we lost. But still, a treble-winning side. Neymar, Messi, Suarez, the greatest attacking trio of all time, not even close. Busquets, Xavi came off the bench that year because he was a little bit older, but Rakitic was amazing that year as well. He was just such a great player. Mascherano, Piqué. I mean, the squad is there. We know Ter Stegen, Claudio Bravo, Jordi Alba. The squad is there. Won La Liga against Atletico Madrid on the last day. A great La Liga season, by the way. That season was crazy. Won the Copa del Rey, the iconic 3-0 against Atletico Bilbao. The Messi goal where he takes on the whole team, the impossible goal. And the Champions League, I mean, beat Man City in the round of 16, the English champions, beat PSG in the quarterfinals, the French champions, beat Bayern Munich in the semifinals, the German champions, and beat Juventus in the final, destroyed Juventus in Berlin, obviously the Italian champions, beat the champions of every major league on the way to the final. So this team, I mean, it could go no lower than S tier. Just one of the best. If you would have told me this is going to be the last Barca team that you've seen win the Champions League, I would have been like, you're crazy. I would have been like, we were going to win 3 in a row after this. And obviously it hasn't been the case. I'm in extreme pain. Let's just move the fuck on. 2015-2016 Real Madrid, this team is going to go into A tier. Now, they only won 1 trophy this season. It was a Champions League. One the 3 that you can win. In the Copa del Rey, they got disqualified in the round of 32 for some weird shit. I don't even remember what it was. And then in La Liga, they only finished 1 point of the eventual champions, Barcelona. Barca finished with 91. They finished with 90. So they had a great La Liga season. That Champions League run is one of the weaker ones that they've had. I mean, Man City semi-final wasn't really that great. Wolfsburg, that was a great performance by them. And the final, just a boring fucking final, wasn't it? That final was shit, to be honest with you. But the team is still really good. I mean, the squad quality on this team, it was basically the same throughout the whole 3-peat years. It was obviously Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale, Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, Ramos, Varane, or Pepe. In this instance, it was Pepe. And then obviously Marcelo and Carvajal, and then Keylor Navas and goal. So I think this team, A tier, suits it pretty well. Not the best Madrid team that I've ever seen. I mean, not even close, but I think A tier is perfect for them. 2016-2017 Real Madrid, S tier. The best Madrid team that I've ever seen, apart from maybe the 11-12 year was a little bit better. Honestly, that team was so nasty, but this team obviously won La Liga, finally won the Champions League, dominated the Champions League, dominated Juventus in that fucking, in the final in Cardiff. I mean, they beat Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals, albeit with offside goals. They beat Atletico Madrid in the semifinals. I mean, this team was just completely and utterly dominant. They lost to Celta Vigo in the Copa del Rey, but that, it's still, bro. They won 5 trophies that year. That was the only trophy that they didn't win, the Copa del Rey, because they won the Club World Cup, they won the Super Cups, they won everything. Squad quality, I mean, arguably again, Ronaldo's best season. Benzema, Bale, or Isco in this instance, he started the final on that day. Marcelo in his prime, Ramos, Varane, KCM in their prime as well. I mean, this team was completely and utterly dominant. Honestly, a top 3 Madrid team that I've ever seen, and I would argue it's the best one. 2017-2018 Real Madrid, I mean, I'm sorry, it's going to go into B tier. I'm sorry. I mean, this team, in terms of their Champions League run, it was one of the least dominant ones that they've had. And in that final, honestly, and people are going to think I'm going to be a hater on this, but I'm going to sound like a hater, sorry. But if it wasn't precarious, and if it wasn't for Mohamed Salah getting injured, I don't think they won that final. They had 76 points in La Liga, which is utterly fucking embarrassing. They did not win the Copa del Rey. The squad quality was obviously still there, but I mean, it just wasn't that great of a team to me. And it speaks volumes to how good they were, because obviously they ended up winning the biggest trophy, which is the Champions League. But when I look back at this Real Madrid team, it's not a team that I think about one of the great. To me, it's the weakest one of the 3-peat teams by far. 2017-2018, that La Liga season was fucking embarrassing by them. So to me, B tiers. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, bro, you're being biased." I don't think I am, and I think B tier suits them. 2018-2019 Liverpool, it's going to go into B tier as well. I mean, if this was 2019-2020 Liverpool, I mean, they would probably go into A tier because that team won the Premier League, but this team only won the Champions League. Also, fuck this team. I don't even want to think about this team. Fuck them and what they did to Barcelona in the semifinal. Am I a little bit bitter still? Yeah, you know what? Sue me. Fuck you. Go watch another YouTuber if you don't like this. Actually, no. Stay here, please. Don't leave. Anyway, this team, it was a very good team in terms of squad quality. You look at Jordan Henderson, you look at Gini Wijnaldum, you look at fucking Virgil van Dijk, you look at Mane, you look at Firmino, you look at Mohamed Salah, you look at Alisson. A very good team, but when you only win one trophy, I mean, it is the biggest one, but they finished obviously second in the Premier League that year to Man City, and they had a great, actually, you know what? Should I put them in A tier? Are they on the same? No, I think, you know what? I think they're on the same tier as that Chelsea team and that Real Madrid team. I think this, and by the way, these are not insults, okay? These are all European champions. So this is this is like the greatest of the greats. So me putting them in B tier is not an insult, but then again, I don't think this Liverpool team was as good as maybe the one in 2021, 2022 that almost won a quadruple, if that makes any sense. 2019, 2020, Bayern Munich, I mean, enough said, it's an S tier team. I just realized there's a lot more teams in S tier than there are in A tier, which kind of devalues S tier, but whatever. I mean, there's a lot of good teams here. They're, of course, going to go in S tier. Sextuple winners, one of the greatest teams of all time, destroyed every single competition they played against. There's not much to say. It's an S tier team. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to go through the squad quality, so let's just do that. Obviously, they had Lewandowski, they had Thiago, they had Gnabry, who was insane that season. They had Kingsley Coman, they had Thomas Müller, they had Boateng, they had fucking Alphonso Davies, Goretzka, Kimmich. So this team, again, I forgot to go through the squad quality. Manuel Neuer as well, but we know it's there. This team was crazy. 2021 Chelsea, C tier. This team finished 4th in the Premier League. Again, they sacked their manager mid-season, a la 2012. This time they sacked Frank Lampard and brought in Thomas Tuchel. How does he won a Champions League? I will honestly never fucking know. The squad quality, half of these players are not even on the team anymore, and it's only been 2 years. The manager is gone. I mean, Christian Pulisic is gone. Kai Havertz is gone. Timo Werner is gone. Jorginho is gone. Mason Mount is gone. Kante is gone. Rudiger is gone. Christensen is gone. Mendy is gone. Honestly, think about this shit. It's insane. All like their players on this team left, and it's only been 2 years. This team, to me, like, they beat Man City in the final in a great, like, their defense was amazing that day. It was just insane. Their defense in general was great. And when Thomas Tuchel came in, that team completely turned around. They lost the FA Cup final, I'm pretty sure, to Leicester. That Jerry Tillman scored a goal, a crazy goal from outside of the box. I'm pretty sure that's what happened on that day. So they only won one trophy, obviously, again, the biggest one. But this, to me, is the worst team here by far. Real Madrid 2022 is going to go into A tier. A very good team, in my opinion. They won a double. They won La Liga. They won, obviously, the Champions League. They won the Spanish Super Cup as well, if you want to call that like a treble, but it's not really the treble. Squad quality was still very good. Vinicius Jr. had a great season. Benzema, Ballon d'Or winning season. Rodrigo or Fede Valverde, whoever you want to put up there. Modric, Casemiro, and Cruz. Again, I mean, they had Alaba, Militao, who were great that year. Courtois, who was insanely good. Mendy, Carvajal. And this team, to me, was very, very good. And their Champions League run. That Champions League run is iconic, bro. Just the teams that they beat, the spirit that this team had. Sometimes I wish my team had that spirit. Honestly, I don't envy many things about Real Madrid, but sometimes I wish that Barcelona had that spirit that this team had in them in that year, in that run, because it was utterly fucking insane. All the comebacks that they made, it was crazy. And then finally, 2023 Man City. I don't want to keep you guys here too long because this video is long enough already. Of course, you're gonna go into S tier. Haaland, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, Ruben Dias, John Stones. Akanji, Ake, Rodri, De Bruyne, Gundogan. The squad is there. They're probably going to win a sextuple. They, of course, won a treble. I mean, this team was completely and utterly fucking dominant. And yeah, that's the tier list, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what other tier lists you guys want to see. Please let me know in the comment section what other tier lists you guys want me to make, because I'll be more than glad to make them. Leave a link down below or just tell me the name and I'll just find it. And yeah, I fucking love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support on this account so far on this channel. It really does mean the world to me. And yeah, I love every single one of you, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.